The Book of Enoch explained. Did you know there's a mysterious book that was once highly respected in early Christianity, quoted even in the New Testament, but it didn't make it into most modern Bibles? That's right, I'm talking about the Book of Enoch. Today we're diving into this fascinating ancient text, using the Sefer version as our guide. Buckle up, it's going to get wild. What is the Book of Enoch? The Book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish text, believed to have been written before the time of Christ. In fact, it's so old that fragments of it were found among the Dead Sea Scrolls. In the Ethiopian church it's still considered scripture, but for most of us, it sits outside the biblical canon. In the Sefer it's called Chanakh, named after Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. Genesis tells us that Enoch walked with God, and was not, for God took him. But what exactly did God show him? That's what this book reveals, the story of the Watchers. One of the most gripping parts is the story of the Watchers. These were angels who descended to earth, but instead of staying obedient to God, they crossed the line. They took human wives, and their union produced giants, known as the Nephilim. The Book of Enoch gives us that epic backstory. These giants wreaked havoc, devoured resources, and even harmed humanity. The earth cried out and God sent judgment, not just on the giants but on the rebellious angels too. Visions of heaven and hell. Enoch didn't just see what happened on earth. He was taken on heavenly tours. He describes God's throne, surrounded by glory brighter than the sun. He saw angelic beings, heavenly hosts, and even places of punishment for fallen angels and wicked souls. In the Sefer, Enoch describes fiery pits, chains of darkness, and the fate of those who reject God. But he also sees the righteous clothed in glory, resting in peace. The contrast is vivid: heaven versus hell, justice versus rebellion. Prophecies of the Messiah. One of the most powerful themes is Enoch's prophecy about the Son of Man. Long before Jesus walked the earth, Enoch described a figure who would sit on a throne of glory, judge the nations, and bring salvation to the righteous. Sound familiar? That's because Jude in the New Testament actually quotes Enoch directly when warning about God's coming judgment. It's a clear foreshadowing of Messiah, what we now know was fulfilled in Yahushua Jesus Christ. Why does it matter today? So why should we care about the Book of Enoch today? While it's not in most Bibles, it gives us insight into the spiritual battles behind the scenes, why evil seems so rampant, and how God has always been in control. It also reminds us that judgment is real, but so is God's promise of salvation. For believers, Enoch is a powerful encouragement that God sees, God knows, and God has a plan. The Book of Enoch may not be part of your everyday Bible reading, but it's a fascinating look into the spiritual world and God's unfolding story. Want to learn more about hidden books of the Bible? Stick around, because we've got more deep dives coming your way.